And we are live. Good morning, crypto warriors, and welcome back to Gem in the Crypto episode, I believe 1208. Today is Friday, April 5th, 2024, and I'm King.
And I'm Bitcoin Zay, here to bridge the gap between cryptocurrency and the community, Monday through Friday at 10ish.
Today's top stories: Fidelity files S1 application with US SEC for spot ETF with staking. Binance in support for Bitcoin ordinals. Sam Bankman-Fried speaks out after sentencing. I never thought what I was doing was illegal. I feel you though. Tron argues SEC not a worldwide regulator and lawsuit goes too far. But first and foremost, what's going on with those prices, Bitcoin Zay?
Oh yeah, so let's take a look at our prices for today. Not very much happening in the market. Bitcoin sitting at 67,438, up 0.3% today. Ethereum at 3,283, down 2.4% today. Binance Coin at 582 is down 1.2% today. Solana at 174, down almost 7% on the day. XRP sitting at 57 cent, down 3.1%. Dogecoin at 17 cent, down 5% on the day. Cardano at 57 cent, down 2.8%. And Ton Coin coming out of nowhere at 533, up 5% on the day, rounding out the top 10. And quick look at our fear and greed index. It's hilarious because a lot of people were getting greedy. I think we almost got to 90, and the market smacked everybody in the mouth and was like, "Hey, calm down, brother."
You think it's that easy? You think it's that easy? You gonna get rich overnight?
Yeah, so as soon as the greed index went up, all of a sudden the U.S. Transferred 30,000 bitcoins to
Right,
the exchange
basically. Oh
to,
no, no,
to get
no. We
sold.
can't
So
have that.
they're like, "Oh, whoa, you do understand? We can't have a bunch of greedy 22-year-olds making millions." So yeah, fear and greed index has gone down. Market's kind of cooled off for now, which is it seems pretty regular ahead of the happening in the next 2 weeks.
That is right. Block another 200,000 so blocks will almost be completed. And the show begins. Really quick, give some shout outs. What's going on? Laura Smith, Tech, True Police, Memories of Mike Hyben, Cryptware, Bitcoin Shango, JB, Crypto Night Train, Wisdom Bar, Jimmy O, Philip Shaw, Hyben. I think I said that. Good morning, 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 everybody. Welcome back to the show. Top story of the day. Actually, before we get to that ETF, let's go ahead and talk Bitcoin. Binance and support for Bitcoin ordinals. Bitcoin say, what's going on with Bitcoin ordinals and Binance? Why don't they love the ordinals? I thought they were friends.
Oh yeah, well it seems like Binance it's not ordinals themselves, but it looks like Binance is shutting down a lot of things in light of their recent struggles. But Binance NFT Marketplace will cease supporting trades and deposits of Bitcoin ordinals on April 18th. That's in 2 weeks here, and they're winding down support for Bitcoin NFTs just a few months after introducing it to its marketplace. In a blog post, Binance announced efforts to streamline product offerings on the Binance NFT marketplace. And as a part of these efforts, they are ceasing support. So, in addition, the Binance NFT marketplace will cease to offer airdrops, benefits, and utilities related to NFTs after April 10th. And of course, Bitcoin ordinals, they became popular, was created in late 2022. I remember the beginning of 2023. I was at Bitcoin Day in Florida, and one of the questions one of the guys asked was like, "Hey, do you think we'll ever get NFTs on Bitcoin?" And I was like, I wouldn't be surprised if somebody had some sort of technological advancement in the next year. And that shit came in 2 weeks. Like literally 2 weeks later, Ordinals was there. So the dude Casey Rodemar, he created it so you could embed digital art, basically the turtle and the hare, baby. All the other coins, they want to talk about how fast they are. We got NFTs, we got tokens, and then Bitcoin comes along. It's like, well, we do too now. So, but Binance is basically shutting it down, but they're shutting down a lot of things. So, not surprised there.
Shout out to Reggie Middleton. Good morning. Good morning. Tonio, what's up? Tonio in the house as well. Good morning. Morning. Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, for me, Binance in general, I think we can expect to see it shut down all of its services when it's all said and done. Again, I don't understand why the Binances of the world just don't sell. Get out of the fray, get out of the mix. You had your time in the sun, you were successful. I'm not exactly sure what the difference between 50 to $100 billion and $1 trillion will be for these people. Like, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, there's nothing more you can do. Let's say you got 50 billion, you got $1 trillion. Like, while that's a huge gap, there's only so much more you can do outside of like, let me full blown start taking over countries or start jumping into politics. Outside of that, like, what else are you going to buy? So when it comes to Binance, it's like, to me, they ran their course. I get it. They're trying to do the same moves as Coinbase did. Make sure
Mhm.
competition is stifled and become the government's best friend around the planet so that they are the premier exchange that everyone can use and rely on. However, I think by now they see that the government doesn't want that. They don't want to use a private exchange if they don't have to. They want their own, or one that they've actually birthed themselves. They don't want to jump in on the old exchange. So when you start to see how much pushback they have from the regulatory standpoint, and then even from a maintenance standpoint and scaling their own volume, it's like, hey, we got to cut back on ordinals. We might have to cut back on certain trading tokens or whatever. It's like, why keep going? Just, you did great. Sell sell your company, sell the recipe for the next exchange to be created that's going to be even bigger and better. But as far as you all go, I think the name is burnt out. It's kind of like Poloniex. It's kind of like Kraken in some respects.
Matrix.
Like, it just gets burnt out after a while. Everybody know it. It's been used, abused. The government got backdoors here. They pressure you there. It's like, it's over, man. It was a great movie. It was a great show, but it is over, Binance. You guys did a great job when you had the chance to. You got too big. We know how the game go. I don't know. That's my thoughts.
Hey, I mean, at those levels, you're basically trying to figure out whether you want a small island or a large island. Like, it's like, come on, man. I mean, either way, you can buy an island and get out of here. I mean, CZ, he did his work. He'll always be a legend. But I feel like it's not worth the trouble.
That's what I'm saying.
Like you
It's
said,
not worth the headache.
if you can make 50 billion as a company and then have no stress when you sell it versus having 200 billion and then still have to fight the SEC and still have to get rid of marketplaces and apologize and do all the stuff that CZ's been doing, then it's not worth it. Just go ahead and cash out and enjoy your life. But
And to be clear, this would be very different if he had an attitude like of a Mark Cuban when he joined the NBA. He's like, I don't care how y'all been doing it. Like, I'm about to do my team crazy. Like, then it's different. It's different if what's up, boy? If he was a Jahan Wu, if he was Craig Wright, basically anyone with some cojones is big enough to say, I don't look at it as waking up every day and having to fight the SEC like in a bad way, but like, man, I get to go at it with a government entity. Like, you need one of them types of people. And I'm piggybacking on what S1 Dub said. S1 Dub said Binance didn't have a strong enough leader, smart but not strong. I fully agree with that. In this space, I mean, again, it doesn't matter what place in the market you're at. If you're not on the government side, you're eventually going to run heads up with them. So yeah, to run heads up with them, I don't think you need just brains. You definitely got to have some strength to you as well, and the willingness to really go at it with them, which we saw Binance didn't have. And again, the government, hey, it's a government, a shark in the water. It's a bully. You see a little blood, or you see you get nervous. Did you just hesitate? Oh, no, hey, we got one.
We got one.
He's scared. He's scared.
Get his shoes. So, take his socks.
Hey, right. It's over. It's like, bro, did you just flinch? Yeah. I know you saying what? So at first, the government was just bucking at companies to see who was going to flinch. As soon as Binance, as soon as they shuttered, the government said, oh, they really started putting hands on them then. They started really touching them up. So now it's like months, years later, they tired of being brutalized, beaten, and bullied. And it's just like, we're closing this down. We're closing that down. Just sell. Like, just stop. You're not, it's not going to get better.
Yeah, the only thing I can think of, unless it is like people have been saying a front from from China or from a large country, that's the only thing I can think where he's like, well, I mean, the people who actually control this exchange, who pumped up all the liquidity, they're not letting me quit. That's what a lot of people don't understand is when they see a lot of rich people that do dumb stuff. I'm like, you gotta understand the liquidity that they have came from somewhere, so they don't really have a choice. Like, they're really trapped in that life of, yeah, I got to go through all these battles. I got to fight this. I got to go out and speak. I'm the might be real man. I'm not about to lose some of the CCP's money. He'll be like your boy from what's your boy from Alibaba? He went missing, and they were like,
I know you're talking about. Yeah, I can't think of his name right now, but I know you're talking about.
Nobody knows where he's at. It was one news story. Remember, it was like, oh, nobody can find him, and then that was it. So he may have some pressure we don't know about, but you're right. I mean, they definitely was giving in to everything that all the regulations that he had.
And to piggyback on that, I've even I got to say this clearer, like the right way. I haven't been given a break to scammers, but I have become at peace with some of them because I don't know if it was on one of the movies we saw or just a news story, but essentially I think it was a news story. It was the John Oliver thing when they was talking about the pig farming, but the whole thing about a lot of these scammers have actually been kidnapped or have some type of pressure on them and their family. They're getting pressed, their kids are getting pressed, or it's just like hey, if you don't use this script and call these people on this list right here and tell them like blah 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 and get us this crypto, then we're gonna hurt you and your family. So it's like they're not even real scammers. They're being forced to scam by gangs that have kidnapped them or their families, done all this other horrible stuff overseas. So it's like now that I know that this
Yeah,
stuff is
like the
going on,
cartel.
I am more like like
Mhm.
whatever. Like it could be one of those people who got the pressure put on them. So maybe you're right about that. Like that will be the
Like the
only yeah,
cartels.
that would be the only option I give for some of this stuff that doesn't make sense. Is it's like no, bro, it makes perfect sense if you know what's going on behind the scenes. So you're right. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe I'm getting beside myself. You know that kind of actually explains it more clearer than anything else. It's like no, he wants to get out. He clearly sees everything we see. But like you said, somebody cracking the
Mhm.
whip, like, hey, either this thing keep making money or we're gonna burn it up. It won't be in between. So you
Yeah.
figure that out.
Hey man, like I said, just like the cartels, man, they send regular people across the
Right.
line with $100 million in drugs. And when they stop them, they're like, "Why would you do that? Why would you drive this?" And they were like, "Because I
You
don't
think
have a
I want to
choice." And it's
drive this?
like,
You think this is my
"You think I want to drive $100 million worth of
money?
drugs?" And plus, y'all missed the other 500 that went by y'all while y'all
Hilarious.
was checking this truck.
Hyben, thank you for the
Me going
tip.
to jail, yeah. So it is what it
Hyben,
is.
thank you for the tip. OMAC in the house. OMAC said, it's all about power and influence. Men can't stop. It really can't, man. What? Who are you telling? That's why it's always funny. I'm telling you, when people talk about the patriarchy and all this other stuff, we said it before on the show, but I'll say it again. I don't know why in people's minds, definitely, of course, like for the most part, women, but they're just like, yeah, the patriarchy is only men against us. I'm like, no, men don't like other men either. Males don't like males either. It's only like a small 2%. It's a small 2% that run everybody, okay? But yeah, I'm with you
Mhm.
on that, old Mac. It's just men being men, destroying shit, trying to take over shit. Can't get enough of it. Reggie Mills said all those opinions will change when faced with 29 years of jail time, particularly if you aren't clearly guilty of wrongdoing. Yes, that is true. What else we got going on? Jack Ma. That's what we're thinking of. Jack Ma. Thank you,
Jack
sir.
Ma, yeah,
Said he's locked up in a cupboard like Harry Potter. You all are hilarious on that one.
man. They got him in a basement like Drake, Ghost Riders.
Hilarious 2 times. Man, y'all funny. All right, Fidelity's right. He be coming out the blue. Fidelity files S1 application with US SEC for spot ether ETF with staking. I'm assuming this is supposed to be ETF. It's saying EFT, so I might be saying something wrong. We'll see. But staking rewards could create a taxable event for shareholders and introduce new risks associated with the fund. And again, I have to go back to this. How and why? I wasn't blown up enough. Let me blow up. There we go. How and why?
Mm,
So essentially, they're talking about taxing staking now. What are you doing with the money? Where are the protections? People, they can't just keep blindly. Don't. I'm not going to rent. I say I'm not going to rent today. We got places to be, things to
yeah.
do. I don't have the time to rent. Okay. I'm going to grab this microphone. I'm going to say it softly. How do you tax without giving actual protection? People, this is like what's the town or city I just read about? I don't want to I don't know. It's a town right now or city that's saying they're going to stop paying taxes to police or stop paying their taxes in general because the police haven't been doing their job. It's crime ridden, all this other stuff. I want to say it might be in Sacramento, San Francisco. This has just happened
Mm.
recently. They're
Had
talking
to be
about not
California.
paying city taxes. Right, of course it's California. Come on. They're talking about not paying city taxes to police because they aren't being protected, so on and so forth. And that's my point. I'm like, look, yo, all right, let's be for real. I'm calling the United States a gang for a reason. We're operating like a gang. You want protection, you need to pay. Fine. Everybody's agreed on this, whether they've agreed or not agreed. It happens automatically if you have a regular corporate job or whatever, right? 9 to 5. But all of a sudden now they're saying, hey, not only are we going to tax Bitcoin and crypto sales and exchanges and swaps, and we're not offering no protection if you get hacked or anything. Now we're also going to do that for staking service. People, the reason why staking services have that return, that high return or is so appealing is because you are providing liquidity for like, let's talk about what staking actually is you providing liquidity, you're providing money, capital to a brand new project that otherwise would not have the ability to trade or do anything on the broad market. Why? Because they would not have any liquidity. There would be no money involved. There only be that underlying token or coin or whatever else. So for the government to come in and say, all people who are risking your money, risking your time, your capital, and resources to prop a project up that probably won't work. If you look at everything that's happened in the past, probably will not work in the long run. Will it have a quick pump? Will it make some money? Yes. Will it work? Probably not. They're also saying now we're going to tax that. and
Mhm.
offer what protection? What happens if it doesn't work? What happens if it fails? What happens if it goes down
Oh well.
times
Yeah.
20?
Oh
Then
well.
that's my point. Then it's like, hey, y'all gotta be careful with these speculative assets. Like, no, you can't take 30% of what I'm trying to do as a fucking investment. Imagine every time you went to Vegas, every time you were about to put a bet down on the table, they say, wait, you putting down $10, you gotta give us three. Like, what sense would that make? No one would go to Vegas if literally you had to give 30% of your money before every bet. That is what they're doing in crypto. Before you bet, they want to cut, and every time you actually bet, you win or lose a bet, they want to cut too. You go trade your money in, they want to cut too. All the same time, the casino's getting fucking robbed, and they're saying, "Well, it's nothing we could do. It's a speculative, dangerous, is wild west." And it's like, no, that's not the way this works. Okay,
Mm,
all right, my bad. I did a small rant. Shit, that was my
that was
fault.
all good.
Okay, so anyway, back to the craziness here at hand. Staking rewards could create a taxable event for shareholders and introduce new risks associated with the fund. Fidelity filed an S1 application with the US SEC on March 27 to create a spot Ether exchange traded fund. So, yeah, again, people, the Giants make mistakes too. ETH. All right, Cointelegraph. But they wanted that ETF. Let's see, the asset management giants ETF will trade on the SIBO. Listen, if SIBO is involved, oh man, SIBO and CME, they taught me too, bro. They will tame some markets. On the SIBO BZX exchange, Fidelity Digital Asset Services, which affiliate with sponsor FD Funds Management, will serve as custodian of the trust ETH. Really quick, people, you notice how they have all these words to Fidelity Digital Asset Services, which is affiliated with the sponsor FD Fund. They're trying to confuse the shit out of you before they start this derivatives on derivatives game. You ain't gonna know who got the Bitcoin, who got the crypto, who got the money. When it's time for you to sue, you will not know who to write on that line. Just figuring out the right people to sue is going to cost you so much time and resources. You're not going to want to do it. They are about to serve up a fucking incoming dip and retracement like we never seen. When this bubble goes pop here on this one, oh, people, like,
Mm,
listen, I'm talking about a 80% candle on one day, people. It's gonna
mm,
get blood. It's gonna get nasty. The trust fund intends to establish a program to stake a portion of the trust's assets through one or more staking infrastructure providers. And really quick, I want to point out staking was not meant for. Staking was not meant to give it all to a corporation to allow them to stake. People, are you out? Have we not seen what capitalism is doing to our cities in America? Is going to be the same as a real estate investment trust company, REIT, owning a bunch of single family and one bedroom apartments right now. And all of a sudden we got a fucking $700,000, $800,000 one bedroom, 600 square feet price tag here in LA. That's what happens when you allow them to own it. You do not, the last thing you want to do is have a new project that relies on liquidity to say all that liquidity is going to be coming from one or two companies. Like
yeah,
centralization at its finest. Are you out of your
it's already happening.
fucking mind? I
Yeah,
know it is
yeah.
Ethereum, but
BlackRock.
hey, I'm not gonna go there.
Hey, BlackRock and a few other Vanguard and a few other big companies already they basically centralize it. But you're right. There's only three, I believe, three people own 50% of the of the ETH nodes that were awarded for staking. So let me make sure I get this right. I don't want to lie to you, but yeah, Ethereum blockchain is also liable to a 51% attack where a bad actor could take over governance of the network through a majority vote. The top three largest staking pools control nearly 50% of the ETH staked on Ethereum network, and Lido DAO is the largest ETH staking pool. Also, we have reports that some of the pre-sale of ETH. Remember when they did the early pre-sale? That people were using Bitcoin to buy it. Some of that Bitcoin may have been from Silk Road, and some of that Bitcoin may have been stolen, and it was used and then funneled through Ethereum to fund their project, and it was just laundered through time. Because again, if you got 1,000 Bitcoin and then you buy 1,000 Bitcoin worth of ETH, back then, you know what I mean, that's billions of dollars worth of ETH, and there's a few stories that's floating around now about that. We've heard about the OFAC regulations. We know everything wrong with Ethereum.
Yeah.
So, in my opinion, I think this is just a money grab because Fidelity is talking about it. I believe some people pointed out BlackRock and maybe a few others are discussing the ETH ETF. In my opinion, is like I don't think ETH as a layer one foundationally is strong enough. However, it is good for centralized actors. Like if you're a big centralized actor, this is great. It's like we can
Oh yeah,
control,
it's great for that.
we control the product. We can basically tail wagging the dog, and if we get Fidelity to give it some credence or to give it some viability, oh, all of a sudden people are like, yeah, let's let's definitely get into the ETH ETF. It's cheaper because people have a lot of unit bias. So
Right.
it is what it is. And I see Reggie saying staking is patented. Like I said, I would love to see these patents get pushed forward and see a lot of these companies have to answer for that at this point because again, it's permeated the entire
I
crypto
would
industry.
love to see. I would love to see these
That's what I'm
patents
saying.
get
People
pushed.
have turned staking and a lot of the patents that he has into full blown $1 billion corporations. I would love to see that settlement, but yeah, it is what it is. They're trying, but I just don't think that if I was a large company, I would even take the chance. I would just stick with a Bitcoin ETF and chill with that. ETH, I think it's too many risks involved.
And it says here too, I mean, again, Fidelity has done their homework. The decision entails additional risk. The application noted there will be risk of loss, which I just pointing out when it comes to staking, there is always an inherent risk of loss because you are providing the capital to even see if this project's going to fucking work. But they say including in the form of slashing penalties and liquidity risk. Oh, what people? This comes from someone who literally did not read the article before we started it. I keep telling you this. Majority of the time, we do not read these articles. We read the headlines and run with it. Okay.
Mhm.
Didn't even read the fucking article. And I like this is what I was just saying. Liquidity risk while the stake is being processed. In addition, staking rewards will be treated now. And now here's the part where you lose me. How can you just say there would be a risk of loss, including the form of slashing penalties? And I'm not even sure what that is. I would assume they're talking about transaction fees because to me that is a huge form of risk. I don't think they're thinking about that trading on Ethereum. You're talking millions and billions of dollars, perhaps. You're talking about gas fees upwards of $100,000+ people.
Yeah.
Like that is going to it's
Yeah.
going to eat at them. Uh, right. So you got liquidity risk, slashing penalties, whatever they call risk of loss. And then they say, in addition, staking rewards will be treated as income for the fund for tax purposes, as a result of which investors will experience a taxable event without an associated distribution from the trust. Now, here's my fucking problem with Fidelity, BlackRock, every major company, corporation that's come into this space. I told you all years ago they were going to try to change the narrative. This to me is the same as changing the narrative. You just need to know how to read and speak their language, which luckily enough, me being in PR for the military, I know exactly how to do that. Okay. This is a company who has let me go back up real quick. Okay. This is a huge American company that filled out an application with the SEC. Okay. This is the way it works really quick. Quick. This is the way it works in the military. Okay. Whenever you're in the military, you want to actually do what we call fitness reports. Whenever you get like your what do they call it? Your quarterly in regular corporations, your quarterly, how you been doing?
Uh,
What do they call it, Zay?
your
This
evaluation.
person's been a good evaluation. There we go. So whenever you do your evaluations in the military, whenever you want to write something up for a budget in the military, essentially whenever you want anything, like if you want anything, you want to go on vacation, you want to raise, you want to get promoted, you need a new budget. Whenever you need anything, what you actually do is write up everything yourself to how the bosses or the people signing off will want to see it, and then you submit it. So usually once they receive it, they might only make one or two changes. They'll call you up and make sure they're on the same page, and they'll sign off on it. They're doing the exact fucking same thing here. And the problem with that, though, is that you're doing it for the entire government, which is supposed to say, hey, each individual citizen, company, we're all alike and we're all the same. But no, you're a huge multinational company doing it. And instead, I'm going to show you the little trick they just put in here. I'm going to show you what they did, folks. They put, in addition, you remember, this is an applications. They're essentially writing what the SEC's standard operating procedures should be when it comes to Ethereum ETFs and staking in general. They're the ones who are pushing this to the regulator saying, hey, we're going to already treat staking as income for tax purposes to make you all happy. Now, the SEC goes ahead and approves this application and say everything's okay. Then essentially they've just set a precedent that says now all staking falls under the SEC and is a taxable event as income. When in reality, no one's ever voted on it, made a judgment or none of that. It comes from one company changing their narrative in order to please the SEC so that they can get across the finish line and then, of course, put up every barrier known to mankind to make sure no one follows behind with the same thing. But this is literally when we always say, yo, who's the person talking to these regulators and telling them that this is a problem in crypto or banks or whatever we need? These are the people. They're the people ahead of the hugest companies out there coming back and saying, hey, we're going to go ahead and lead the way of a market we're only 12 months into and say that we need to tax a part of this market that, once again, we have never done anything with. We're starting off in the ninth inning. Absolutely crazy that this is even possible, but it is happening. It's happening.
Yeah, it is what it
All
is.
right. Yeah. Sal Beckman-Fried speaks out of his sentencing. I never thought what I was doing was illegal. When you hear that statement, what are your first thoughts, Bitcoin Zay?
It sounds like when Dave Chappelle was in the car with his white friend and he gets pulled over and he tells the cop, I didn't know I couldn't do that. You just looking at him confused, like, what? That actually works?
Right.
Sorry, officer. I didn't know I couldn't do that. All right, have a good night. You boys have fun. But yes, this sounds like another spoiled brat who literally he was treating crypto like a video game. And when you lose in a video game, you just cut it off and then you go, go take a nap and just come back and play later. But this was actually billions of dollars of people's money. So I really believe that he has this whatever condition that they said. I don't want to mess it up, but that condition where he basically is out of touch with reality, with regular people. And when he says stuff, he means it, I think, but he's also trying to portray himself as a genius. So I'm like, you can't have both ways, bro. You can't be a genius, but then also a victim. Like, nah. You either were really smart or you wasn't. Like,
right. That's why I hate. You can't be both. You cannot. You come on.
Genius whiz kid, but then also I'm a victim because I didn't realize that this was illegal. Yeah, you did. I mean, send the money to your girlfriend at Alameda just so she could lose 20 billion. Like, no, it is what it is. You messed up. And the thing is, I don't even know why he's talking. You came out actually pretty good because Bernie Madoff was facing everybody that's done something like that is easily 99 years plus, and you got 29 and you probably get out early like G Dep. Shout out to G Dep.
You be out in your 40s, man. You be back outside.
That's what I'm saying. And you're not even gonna have a bad time in prison. I guarantee you, he's gonna have special things in place. He's gonna be in PC or whatever. He's gonna have family support. They're gonna be sending him stuff. He's not gonna want for anything. Not saying it's the best life, but that's pretty good for billions of dollars being gone. Sorry they used you as a patsy for the Ukraine war and the Democrat Party, but
that's what it really is.
I mean, that's what it is. What did we just say earlier? Some people are being used and they can't actually do anything about it because they're told you need to launder this amount of money. And maybe Sam was a part of that, but at the same time, he looked like a mark and they took advantage of him.
And listen,
Caitlin, where's this girl at? That's one lesson for any young men watching. Times get hard. You see who the one going to jail for 29 years and who's the one drinking coffee in the middle of the trial.
Listen, get rid of that wild hair, big nose, big lipped thug animal. I don't want to see him no more. All right. I'm serious. Get rid of that fucking thug. All right. I don't want to see him at the conferences talking about what he's gonna be doing. If you don't want your crypto project CEO all up on the stage trying to talk about your project like it's his, doing wash trading, come on over to TGOC. But no, like like you said, you can't be a genius one day and a dummy the next day. It is what it is. Thank you, Sergeant Crypto. Said Bankman-Fried is a thug and should have got more years. Exactly. He's a fucking thug. All right. He's an animal, barbarian. He's sick. All right. Somebody get that wild beast off the streets. I'm serious. See all that hair? Why do they do their hair like that? I don't understand. Yeah. Why don't you just cut your hair low like mine? Why do you do all the extra stuff? I don't get it. It's wild, man. I'm serious. Why do they do their hair
I would give my opinion, but last time I did, I got
don't do that. I'm scared. I'm taking Zay down the dark road already. I'm over here feeding him the layups. I'm over here feeding him the oops.
I want to slam dunk every single one of them, but at the same time, it's like I always go too far. I can't even think of nice jokes. Like I said, I'm not even gonna slam dunk. Last time I did, I had to have 5 spaces explaining myself. So
all right, there we go. We want slam dunk today. I set it up all right. All right, last but not least, Tron. Now, both those stories, that SBF story and this Tron story is old, but we had to talk about it. Tron argues SEC is not a worldwide regulator and lawsuit goes too far. Hold on. Let me. It's a nice slow clap. I don't know why I keep minimizing. Who knows? But Shout out to Tron. I never thought I'd be saying this. Shout out to Tron and Justin Sun. I've never wanted a project to do better. I won't say win or go do the best, none of that, but I never wanted to see it do better than I have today. Finally, Justin Sun and Tron is doing what Binance could have done in one, what Coinbase could have done in one, what was it Kraken or what's the other one? Not Kraken, oh boy, Stewart or not Stewart, black guy,
BitMEX.
Bitmax probably tried. I would say Arthur probably wanted to, but his partners probably like, Arthur, no, don't do it. But by and large, everyone could have done this. Yeah, he was trying to give him a fair one. His boy's like, no, bro, don't fight him. Don't hit him. But this is what everybody should have done. Okay, that's what's up. But this is what they all should have did, and that's literally fight back and point out the fucking obvious on a global stage, and that's the SEC doesn't run the planet. I've been saying this every time they subpoena somebody in another country that has nothing. Well, one of our U.S. citizens use your platform. So what? You sounds like you need to go talk to your citizen. Like people, we only hold on one more last time. I know we got to go, Zay. I'm gonna push it. People, we only do like the U.S. is such a thug and gang and bullies. We only do it with weak people. We only go to weak countries and be like, yeah, man, y'all mess with our citizens. We're just going to pull you out and bring you back to the U.S. Why aren't we bringing out some of the top Chinese citizens and bringing them back? Why aren't we bringing out some of the top Russians and bringing them back? There would be consequences, okay? Why aren't we India? We ain't doing it with India either. We're doing it with people who we know won't fight fucking back. It is what it is. I'm on the gang side, you know that. But Tron asked for the SEC's suit to be dismissed, saying it has no authority over foreign digital asset offerings to foreign purchasers on global platforms. Like I said, even if so, the United States citizen had used the platform. What does that have to do with Tron in their country? That sounds like an American problem. You all need to talk to yours. That's literally saying your son or daughter went to somebody else's house and did X, Y, and Z, and you're mad at the other people's house. And it's like, no, why don't you be mad at your son and daughter? They came in here and started doing. We ain't telling them to do that shit. They came in here and started doing that shit. But the entity behind Layer 1 blockchain, Tron, has asked the New York federal court to dismiss the United States SEC commission lawsuit against it, arguing that a U.S. regulator targeting predominantly foreign conduct. The SEC is not a worldwide regulator, and its effort to apply U.S. security laws to predominantly foreign conduct goes too far, the Tron Foundation said in the March 28th dismissal motion in the New York federal court. They did the Wolf of Wall Street, started pissing on the subpoena, say, you know what I do with subpoenas? But again, this is last month. SEC sued Justin Sun from Tron Foundation, talking about their BitTorrent platforms, blah, 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 the crypto platforms. Well, Singapore-based Tron came back and said, hey, your SEC's case is against foreign digital assets offering to foreign purchasers on global platforms for which it has no authority. They're saying, hey, all our tokens were sold entirely overseas with steps taken to avoid the U.S. market that the SEC didn't allege they were offered or sold initially to any U.S. residents. So essentially, the SEC isn't really even calling out what they did wrong. They're just saying that they did something wrong. It also says here the SEC also does not allege a single victim. So this is what I've been saying forever. The SEC is coming out with no victims. Nobody's raising their hand saying I've been wrong. And they're literally just carte blanche saying, hey, y'all not allowed to do this without our permission. Final fucking lead. Because here's my thing. Highly doubt a judge in New York would go with Tron on this. I hate to say it. There's going to be some backroom deal and corruption. Probably going to highly doubt they go with a Singapore or Chinese-backed company over the SEC. But if they do, however, if they do, the type of precedent that's going to be set right here is going to be fucking crazy. If they rule with Tron, you are about to cut the SEC legs from up under them, and U.S. customers, VPNs are back, baby. What are your thoughts on this story, Bitcoin?
Hey man, it looks like we said before, the SEC is Tookie Williams walking around to every neighborhood saying, "Hey, you gonna become crippled? We're gonna beat y'all ass." It's basically what the SEC been doing. And one hood finally stood up and was like, "Hey man, hey, take that over there, back over that way, bro. We don't play none of that." And it's not just Tron, but we've seen this pushback from like Kraken. We've seen it from other projects where they can't really defend themselves because the government has unlimited resources. So, hopefully at the end of the day, we have some sort of change where the SEC doesn't overstep. Don't see that happening. The only way I can see this happening is if something happens with the eclipse Monday and the Large Hadron Collider shifts us into a new timeline. We open up a wormhole and we go through a new portal and a new timeline where the SEC was never was never created. So that's about the only way I can see this going away, because they are gang, and they really aren't a government agency. It's a criminal organization with a government agency name. So that's really the only way I can see this changing. But hey, put up a good fight, Tron. I don't see why not. You don't have nothing to lose at this point. I mean, Tron was created out of thin air. Who cares if it goes
Hilarious.
back?
True. Same. I mean, not only do you have nothing to lose, like, yeah, it was created out in there. It's not like the U.S. is about to. If you're in Singapore, fly. Technically, we don't have like certain treaties with Singapore. I know that for a fact. I was there, but I mean, worst case, you can just bounce over to China. But yeah, Jake Fever will end on this. That Justin's son gonna be paying that fine or being handcuffed like Justin Combs last week. Listen, true, but if it's going to be a fine regardless, you might as well fight and fight hard. Other than that, that's the show for today. Bitcoin's Day. You got any last minute comments?
Nothing for me. Enjoy the eclipse on Monday. Stare right into it.
Bro, something wrong with you.
Have a good weekend, people.
Smash that like and share. We see